The sound of engines was supposed to be comforting. For most people, the roar of a private jet taking off signified luxury, safety, control. But on that night, as the sleek silver aircraft climbed through heavy clouds, the sound shifted. It trembled, stuttered, and then sank into a silence so heavy it made hearts stop. Inside the cabin, panic erupted. Executives in sharp suits looked around with wide eyes, clutching armrests, whispering prayers they hadn't spoken in years. The CEO of a billion-dollar tech empire, a man known for his control and confidence, suddenly felt powerless. For the first time in decades, his life wasn't in his own hands. The pilot's voice crackled over the speakers, urgent but breaking. "Ladies and gentlemen, we've lost both engines." Screams. Gasping. The metallic creaks of a plane struggling against gravity. And in the middle of it all sat a man nobody noticed when they boarded. A single dad in his 30s, quiet, wearing a modest jacket, traveling with a worn backpack and a photo of his little daughter tucked inside. Nobody knew his name. Nobody cared, until that moment. The cabin shook violently. Oxygen masks dropped. The CEO tried to dial his phone, hands trembling. Executives cried out for answers. And then, through the chaos, the single dad stood up. His voice cut through the noise, not loud, but steady, firm, carrying the weight of someone who had been here before. "Let me through," he said, eyes fixed on the cockpit door. "I can help." At first, no one believed him. Who was this man? Just a passenger, another face. But there was something in his eyes, something sharper than fear, something stronger than panic. Reluctantly, the terrified flight attendant moved aside. The cockpit was a storm of alarms, flashing lights, and despair. The pilots were drenched in sweat, hands flying across controls that no longer answered. When the single dad stepped in, the captain snapped, "You can't be here." But the man's voice didn't waver. "I was Air Force flight engineer. I know this bird. Let me help you." And just like that, the story changed. His name was Daniel Hayes, though most people just called him Dan. He wasn't supposed to be on that jet. In fact, he wasn't even supposed to be flying that night. He had given up his career in aviation years ago, walking away from a prestigious role in the military to care for his daughter after his wife passed away in a tragic accident. For years, Dan had worked quiet jobs, fixing engines, driving delivery trucks, doing anything that let him be home in time to make his daughter, Lily, dinner. He had buried his own dreams under responsibility, trading the skies for the stability of fatherhood. And now here he was, thrust back into the cockpit of fate. The jet spiraled lower, alarms wailing. The pilots were frozen in a storm of fear, their training collapsing under the pressure. But Dan moved like a man who had done this in his sleep. His fingers flew across switches, his